Hello everyone, my name is Patricia and welcome to my channel. Today is Tester Tuesday and it is the fall and winter new release style. We're going to do it in sections and we have 4 scents to review this week, so we better get on it. Now, if you're new to my channel, thank you for stopping by. I just want to apologize, I'm on my way to work soon. It is very early in the morning and I put my jacket on already because I don't think you need to see my ugly uniform. But Tester Tuesday is something that I was accumulating a lot of testers, and some of them were from my own, purchasing, but some of them I was getting from D-stashes. So I just want to clarify the Just Breathe, strange thing that happened with the residue. I think that was because I got it from a D-stash, and who knows? I mean, I don't really know what happened to the testers, but I just know that 2 of them were abnormal, and I'm pretty confident that the Just Breathe you would be able to get now would be fine. So, but let's talk about the fall and winter new release Scentsy catalog. So we have 15 new release scents plus a kid scent plus the 8 Disney. So we're going through that. This is week 1. The reason I like to do this is I always purchase just a second transition kit and I warm through all those and decide what bars I'm going to purchase for myself, because sometimes, as you know, things change from cold sniff to when they are warmed. Okay, so I finally have my little mid-sized testers. These are in between a party tester and a mini tester, so they're phasing out both of those and going with this one. Now, I did dig out the wax and I weighed the wax and I weighed it at 7 grams. Now, if you take a Scentsy bar, I believe it is 74 grams and there are 8 cubes. So that's roughly 9 grams per cube. So this is about 3/4 of a Scentsy cube. So before with the parties, we were at about little like 1 1/4. Now we're down to about 3/4. So obviously when I warm a 3/4 cube amount of wax, it's probably not going to be, we're not going to be able to compare exactly, but we're just getting an idea of, how the scents are doing. The other thing is, these are all my own personal opinions, and my nose may smell things differently than yours. My house may work differently than yours, so but it's just a general idea. I always say if you watch 10 people do videos and 8 out of 10 people love the fragrance, well, that might help you, and that kind of thing. So just factor that in. So we drew 6 scents last week, and I had you guys vote for 2. And I decided to warm the top 4. So I'm just going to announce the top 4. The one with the most votes was Grandma's Orchard. Then we had, in number 2 spot, we had Perfect Peppermint. In number 3 spot, we had Autumn Hearth. And in the 4th spot, we had Lavender Cotton. Now, the 2 scents that did not make the cut, they were Love and Kisses Mini and Farmhouse Fur, and they did get votes, so what I'm going to do is put those aside, and we're going to get to those later in the rounds. Okay, so let's talk a bit about Grandma's Orchard. So this is a kind of like a rusty orange colored wax. Scentsy describes it as discover total tranquility in fresh applewood and Anjou pear. So when I smell this, I do get a slightly, like the applewood note, I do pick up on that. It's kind of reminds me a little bit of the cedar cider. And I do pick up the pear. I pick up a sweet note. I don't know if it's exactly pear. Sometimes pear and apple smell similar in home fragrance. But yeah, you can smell that. Small amount of spices and cinnamon to me. I would say the scent appeal, was a medium. I would say like maybe 7 out of 10. I think this would, Grandma's Orchard will appeal to most people. It's kind of the quintessential fall scent. It's kind of a safe scent. They're not going way out on a limb with anything. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty. I don't want to say generic, but it's kind of a typical fall scent. The strength and throw was maybe, I would say, about a 6 out of 10. I would say the longevity. I thought it was really going to die down quickly, or not last long. But what it did was it kind of just ticked along. I took it out around the 19-hour mark. It was very, very faint. I let it go actually overnight, but at the 19-hour mark, I would say it was done. And when I came downstairs this morning, I couldn't smell it, at all. At the end, if you go down right to the warmer, you just smell a nice sweetness. I did put this in my mini warmer silver vine in my laundry room. So the other thing was we went shopping yesterday afternoon, and when I got home, so that's in the laundry room. It's like a long skinny room. There's a sliding door and then my big open concept space. So I think the sliding door had been left open, and whatever was in the open concept space totally took over Grandma's orchard. So I'm not sure if it would be something I would repurchase. I think that I do have cider mill and I have cedar cider and that kind of thing from last year, so I'm probably going to stick with those for now. But I think that one will do okay. The second one is Perfect Peppermint. Scentsy just says, this is cooler than most. Pure peppermint is the popular kid you'll love to love. And I really don't think that's a good description. But anyway, I don't think you should be talking about popularity and things like that. But anyway, that's just me. So before, in previous years, we had Peppermint Dreams and Peppermint Rush. So this is a peppermint with like a chocolate note. And this is a peppermint with kind of a... It's pretty strong. Yeah. Okay. So I kind of get the pureness of Peppermint Rush, but maybe slightly softer version of Peppermint Dreams minus the chocolate. So probably somewhere in the middle. I think it's definitely not as strong as Peppermint Rush in my opinion. I would say the strength and throw starting out, well, let's start scent appeal. I would say was about a 7 or an 8 for me. It was really nice warming. I basically, I said to my husband, I had it warming, and I said to my husband, he was about to go to bed, and I said, do you like peppermint scents? He goes, I think, why? And I said, well, and then he opened the door and he goes, I see what you mean. So, it definitely performed well in terms of, initially anyway. I would say after a few hours, so strength and throw initially was probably like an 8 out of 10. And after a few hours, it went down to maybe a 5 out of 10. I think I kept this one in only 14 hours. And then I took it out. It was really starting to smell like a waxy smell in the warmer. And the other thing I found was towards the end, I don't know, it was very strange. It was almost like it had a bakery tone. But it could be that whatever that fragrance oils were kind of burning off and just giving me that vibe. I had it in a 12-watt doodle dot warmer right here in my bedroom. So it's funny when my husband, he said, he goes, I like this scent, but I really like that misty thing that you use. So he really likes the diffuser. So would I purchase some Perfect Peppermint? It's kind of hard to say. I mean, we don't have a lot of peppermint options, so maybe I will. But I think I'm going to hold out and see how Snowplace Like Home does, because that has a minty component. And whatever one I like better, that would be the one I would go with. So one thing about peppermint is it is a great mixer for things. So. Okay, Autumn Hearth. Now, when I looked up, I didn't have my catalog with me, but I looked it up online, and I just want to point out that it had the scent description for apple cherry strudel underneath it. So I was smart enough to clue in, but it did make me kind of think to point out that when if I ever make a mistake, just please call me on it, because my dear Watson, I basically made a mistake saying when that came out. I thought it came out, you know how a lot of the new releases have little stars in the catalog? Well, I have screenshots of different things, and I saw a little star, and I'm like, oh, that's the year it came out. But then, looking back, all of the scents in that particular picture had stars, so I think it was just something they might have did a little differently that year. But anyway, so I apologize about that. But the scent description for Autumn Hearth is, it's almost the same color as Grandma's Orchard, kind of like a brownish orange wax. It's Cue Up a Classic. Apple, cinnamon, and tonka are all about fall. So I agree with the apple. I agree with the cinnamon, and the tonka is basically, I believe it's a vanilla caramel with a dark honey kind of tone to it. And so yes, I agree with that. And the all about fall, I definitely agree with. So this is very similar, in my opinion, to Grandma's Orchard. So sometimes I wonder why they bring out ones that are so close. But maybe it's just me, I can't differentiate. But I find this one is a little bit stronger on the cinnamon and maybe not as sweet. Well, it's hard to say. Yeah, I don't find it as sweet. I find it more grounded. I would basically say, again, it is a very quintessential autumnal scent. Something that you would, you know, if you went to a candle store and smelled this, you would think fall for sure. Yeah. Strength appeal for me was about a 7. I got my whole family, or not my whole family, my daughter hated it. My son loved it. My mom really loved it. She couldn't stop talking about it. I put it in the warmer, and she said, this was the first one I warmed. It was also in my laundry room, and she said, I can smell it right away. So I would say it was a little bit stronger than Grandma's Orchard, and maybe a bit spicier. I took it out around the 23-hour mark, and the strength and throw was a little bit stronger. I would say maybe 6.5. The thing I found very strange, towards the end of the warming, it changed its tone to me. I really picked up like a, you know, when you have a cup of tea, like before you put any like milk or sugar, that's what it kind of smelled like to me. So I don't know if that would be a bonus for some people or a turnoff for some people, but one thing I want to say about certain scents, like even, so Grandma's Orchard, Perfect Peppermint, you know, Autumn Hearth, to me, sometimes I'm worried they bring out new releases and maybe they make them less strong. And then if we go for those versions, they maybe would get rid of some of the more popular ones, just because maybe it's less expensive. So I'm not sure, but like I wouldn't want like Autumn Hearth or Grandma's Orchard to take the place of Cider Mill or Cedar Cider or you know, something like an Apple and Cinnamon Sticks or something like that. I'm kind of sad about the Peppermint Dreams and Peppermint Rush situation, and now we have like two new fragrances to choose from. You don't really have an old one to kind of fall back on. So, you know, I don't want the new ones that, in my opinion, maybe they're less intense to win out over an old classic that you know is a good performer, well liked, things like that. Anyway, let's move on. Last one, Lavender Cotton. Lavender Cotton is described as: find your magical moment in purple lavender, soft cotton, and daisy blossom. So I'm not really going to talk about scent appeal because I don't really like lavender scents, but the strength and throw I would say like was an 8 out of 10. Initially maybe it went down to about a 5 out of 10 on day 2. Basically this has been going for about like 40 hours. It's still going in my daughter's bedroom. She has a 25-watt bulb warmer. And so, you know, I'm pretty confident saying this is a good performer. I mean, one thing I wonder is, because I don't like lavender scents, if I can really smell it, where other people might say it's very light. But I went in this morning, I could still smell it. So I would say yes, you can definitely smell lavender. It's probably in between an herbal and a sweet lavender in my opinion. Soft cotton, I can smell that more on cold, not on as much on warm. But the daisy blossom, I think that's what I'm smelling the most. I'm not sure. It could be the daisy blossom mixed with the lavender. But this reminds me, when I had a Sedona Sunset going, there was something in Sedona Sunset that gave it that very cologne-y kind of effect to my nose. And I definitely get that. So Sedona Sunset had like a lily flower, lily blossom or something. And this has daisy blossom. So I don't know if that's what it is. But yes, it's very kind of like warm, and yeah, it's not a cool scent in my opinion. Anyway, I think this is going to do really well with the public, and I think that it's going to stick around, but that's my prediction. We'll see. And I've never warmed French lavender, so I don't know how to compare, but I've heard French lavender is light, and to me this one was fairly strong, at least initially on the first day. And then it kind of toned down a bit, but I can still smell that smell when I walk in the room. So I think this is going to do well. Okay, so in general, Lavender Cotton, I would say if you like lavender, definitely pick it up. Autumn Hearth, if you already have Cider Mill, Cedar Cider, something like that at home, I would say hold off, or if you really want to try it, give it a try. Perfect Peppermint, if you don't have any peppermint at home, you might have to give that a try, but I'm going to wait to see, compare it against Snowplace like home. And Grandma's Orchard, it was a slightly sweeter scent, did not seem to last quite as long for me as compared to Autumn Hearth and maybe some of the older classics, but it was still pleasant and nice. Okay, so I've got my bag. We're going to draw. So I'm going to draw 6 scents. You guys are going to vote again for 2. You have until Wednesday morning to vote, please. And also you can vote in the comment section below. I will acknowledge your vote with a heart, and that way you know I've tallied your vote. You can also send me an Instagram message. I will put my contact information in the description box under where the date and that kind of thing is listed. So yes, we did have the most votes again this week, and we only had 1 day. And yes, I did receive some Instagram votes, so that worked out well for some people. Please don't vote in both places. That'll totally confuse me. Okay, let's draw. 2 votes each, please. The first one is Palo Santo, which is a light cream colored wax. We have Berry Fairy Tale, and I'm sorry about the lighting. It's not, the sun isn't even out yet this morning, and if I seem tired, it's because I am. I'm not a morning person. Berry Fairy Tale is a red colored wax. Red, Cedar and Sage, a green colored wax. Mossy Green. Ariel, Under the Sea, which is a mint green color. Blueberry Pancakes, which is a very dark purple. And last but not least, we have, let's give it a try this week. Snowplace Like Home, or maybe if you guys want to see it. Anyway, so I will go over them again. Palo Santo, Berry Fairy Tale, which is in the kids section. Red Cedar and Sage. Ariel, Under the Sea, which is in the Disney collection. Blueberry Pancakes, and Snowplace Like Home. 2 votes each. I will keep checking all day and make sure that people are getting their votes in. Thank you so much if you're a new subscriber. I'll see you next Tuesday with another video covering these, and I will announce the winners in the comment box below. So as always, I hope you have a great day in your neck of the woods, even if it's early, just like me. Take care, and I will see you in the next video.